Nerdrotic.com.
What's up, party people? I hope you are all doing well. It's a little Nerdrotic at night. How's it going, everybody? I'm playing around with stuff on OBS and I decided to use my theme song, which is free and available on the free YouTube audio library. It's called Beam Me Up, and that's the reason I picked it. What's going on? So, the reason I'm live streaming at 11:18 p.m. is because I want to stay up as late as possible so I sleep the entire plane ride because I hate flying. I can't stand flying. I tried every way to think about driving to New York, but Mrs. Nerdrotic said hell no. So I have to fly, and I hate it, as I've stated before. So what's up? Let me get my camera straight here so you're not looking at look at those vintage Star Wars curtains. Eventually there's going to be something in there. Okay, that's where all my Doctor Who DVDs are and some more Doctor Who collectibles, but we'll look over here so we can get a better shot of Q. What's up, Mark? Okay, Mark, I've been pronouncing your last name wrong for like a year now, so I'm sorry. Lerzeth. I've been saying Lezerth. You know, it's like dyslexia of the mouth, you know. What's up, Deaths 0079, Maverick, Kiss, Mikey, G Marks, John Turner, Nitram, Warren Roar, what's up? Desiree Clary, Proven 22X, LT Showcases, Garbage, you're not garbage to me. Gray Force 11, TK421, TK421, Hammer, Adam Child, the official Dougie. What are you doing up so late, Doug? It is past your bedtime. I'm going to call Mrs. J. Lord Narco Wookie. Lou, DW, Thundercats Ho, Albert, Zuhike, and Loquacious Primate. What are you all doing up so late? This is great. So I have no plan. I have some super chats from a previous live stream I got to read. And I just wanted to claim the word Galpatine before anybody else did. So that's why I titled this The Emancipation of Emperor Galpatine. And that's, where I guess we'll go over that story. I wish I had time to make a video on it. I just don't. I will be making probably a video from New York, like one of my edited videos, and then you'll get some Tim Pool type videos because all I can bring is my Surface Pro. So let's get to the chat a little bit. Let's see what you guys are up to. It's been a little crazy. Star Wars, after being quiet for so long, and it's been nonstop now. And the latest thing from Screen Rant is with Dr. Afra, which I guess that's going to finally sell a comic. And the reason you don't want to put canonical things in a comic is because about 20,000 people at most are going to see it and know about it. So I don't think it's a real good idea, but we'll see. Palpatine. Let's see if, yeah, there we go. So we can pull that up in a second. But yeah, let's get to what you guys are saying first. And I got to get to my right window. Hey, Me Too, got together right now. You didn't hashtag that Me Too, get together right now. Disney's newest princess falling to the dark side, never going to happen. Their pristine facade won't be ruined. Well, it's going to be more pristine. It's God, I'm forgetting her name now. Somebody sent me a great video, and again, I'm forgetting her name, but it was just called Woke Disney, and it's about girl boss and girl boss fights. And we have gotten, I think we've made up for the lack of girl bosses. I think we've achieved that. Hollywood is very sorry for the casting couch for the last 100 years, stemming from Fatty Arbuckle here in San Francisco, which actually that's a pretty dark story. Don't look it up. And and Harvey Weinstein. Hollywood is sorry. And so are a lot of fans, because they're trying to work out their stuff within the narratives of their films when they should just have had an HR department from the get-go. Go to bed. I am not going to bed. I'm staying up. Svi Lebetkin, what's up? My super chat didn't work. Happy Jewish New Year, dude. Why didn't it work? Because it's supposed to work from Israel. I'm assuming you're in Israel. Maybe not. If you're not in Israel, because they just expanded a bunch of countries, Svi. But Svi has got the best avatar of all time. And Svi, Mazel Tov, my friend. Happy Jewish New Year to you, my dude. Welcome. And I've got to get back to your emails. I got your emails. I'll get back to them. Official Dougie J is in here. By the way, hang on. Where is official Dougie J? Doug, I should have done this a long time ago. See, there we go. Okay, you're knighted, my friend. Did you read Todd Phillips' comments about woke culture ruining comedy? No, but I guess we could tonight. What article? That was, somebody told me about that. That is Todd Phillips. Woke culture. What is it? Here, I don't want to go to BuzzFeed. We'll go to IndieWire. And we will read what IndieWire says to it. Look at Todd Phillips go. Yeah, see, comedians need to fight for this because they're the ones losing their ass, but they haven't said anything for like years now. So I would like to start this out by talking a little bit about Comicsgate and Fandom Menace, these two movements that have been going on for quite some time. And I want to give some perspective on where the movement should go. I'll make it quick. They should keep fighting day by day. The only thing that needs to evolve in a movement is we need to be victorious in getting our entertainment and our culture just back in the middle. Now, movements can splinter, but I saw an EVS live stream with your boy Zach, and I completely agree with EVS. There's no reason why a couple of factions of Comicsgate can't exist in one place. You can have your consumers fighting the fight to try to get Marvel and DC back again, and you can have your creatives and by the way, they're not all creatives, they're not all artists, they're consumers as well, making their books. They can both exist. It's ridiculous to think that they can't together. It's childish. I'm sorry, but it's childish. So they can both exist. You can fight your fight wherever you want to fight it because you aren't part of that group. You are an individual. So you do it your own way with your channel or on Twitter or on Facebook. There's no reason to have this discourse at all. If you don't like something about the movement, don't follow that individual. It's simple. And the same thing goes for the Fandom Menace. If you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't like what somebody else is saying, that's fine. I am not Fandom Menace. I am a member of the Fandom Menace. I agree with a lot of their sentiment. I love the being united in the principle of being about the fan. Okay, that's what it's about. It's about the fan, and get some of the partisan politics out of and agenda out and propaganda out of our films and television shows, so they're just entertaining again. That's all I care about. But I'm going to do my own thing too. I'm going to cover Lord of the Rings, and I'm going to cover I'm going to cover The Expanse, stuff I like, Mr. Robot. It's not all fandom. I know the last 3 videos have been Star Wars, and that wasn't planned, and I damn near did a 4th. But I just didn't have time. So yeah, I just, for however anybody feels about EVS, he's just making his own book. That's it. And Zach is making his own book. If people feel like they took attention away, well, I think a lot of people in Comicsgate gave up. I think they gave up, or they didn't want to do it anymore. And that's fine. That's good too. If you're tired of it, get the hell out. If you don't want to do that stuff anymore. But but comic book pamphlets, and what the movement is about is the comic book direct market, the comic book retailing industry is dying. It's dying fast. There was another comic shop that just closed in Redding, California this past Friday, and I tweeted about it. And we've probably lost more that we don't know about. And Zach said earlier in that live stream that we have comic stars closing, every few days now. And yet we're going to this big celebration in New York, which I'm leaving in a few hours. And it's not good. Things aren't good. The pamphlet isn't going to last. It's unsustainable. It's not making anybody money. It's probably a lost leader right now. And they've turned into political pamphlets. They're not even comic book pamphlets anymore. They've turned into political pamphlets. And the industry has got so insular and weird that it's not anything I would want to be a part of. I am so happy I don't have my store, because there would be so many comics I would refuse to put on my shelf. And quite frankly, the whole ZQ situation, I probably would have sold my store right there and then, because she works for both Marvel and DC, and she can certainly have a job, but I can certainly not sell her stuff. And I don't want I wouldn't want to support her in any way, even peripherally. And that's my choice. So yeah, that was very interesting watching that today. People can certainly have their say about Comicsgate. I've never gotten into the fight because I just didn't want to. It's pretty clear that it's going to be a long battle. And that's the other thing, is you have to be prepared for a long battle. These things didn't turn woke overnight. And you almost look at it like addiction. If I've been using for 10 years, I can't expect to, feel better in a year. It's going to take it, generally it takes about the same amount of time you've been using to feel better. And you're not ever well. You just get better. And that's where I'm at. It took me 5 years to get out from under what I did with the comic shop. So, because I relapsed with the comic shop. So yeah, it sucks to see. I get really bummed out when I talk about the comic industry, because I don't even want to read comics anymore. And that's the first time in my life that I can remember. I'm just like, I have no desire to go to a comic shop unless they have old stuff. I'm definitely going to go to Midtown, because I've never been to Midtown, so I'm going to check that out. I'm staying near Times Square, and Sir Ruin of House Roundhead has got me and Jeremy Joker tickets, and that is, by the way, thank you, my friend. And we are going to do a meetup Thursday night, so keep an eye on the Twitter, the website, and the community section of the YouTube channel. All right, let's read a little bit of this article, and then we'll get to the super chats, which are going to be from like a week ago, so they might be on a tired subject, but look at it as a kind of a Q&A. We'll kind of dip it. Oh no, don't tell me it jumped on me. Son of a bitch. Oh, it could jump from the new ones. Okay, so I found him. It took me a while to find him. It's a few super chats that I missed from 3 live streams ago. Disney Marvel CGI Thrawn, hail chat. Okay, let's call it what it is. Trolled Gizmodo by pretending to be part of the DOD. Oh, they're talking about the Joker, the military announcement about the Joker, which was just nuts. And that was from Gentleman Bystander for $5. And trolling Gizmodo is always a good thing. Hail Gary, Friday Night Tights was awesome, but instead of having 4 people, I've already read that one. See, I don't know how many I actually missed. There we go. No, we're not there. Teddy Roosevelt was the... okay, I read that one. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I missed any. I really don't. Somebody said I missed a chunk. Maybe it's on a previous one, but we'll check that one out when I'm in New York and I have more time. By the way, I'll be able to get to a lot of DMs and stuff while I'm sitting in airports for hours. I'm going to be traveling all day tomorrow. All day. So let's get to this Phillips article here. Boom, 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 boom. And I don't want to use that one. I want to use this one. There we go. And then we want to put that to the top. It's getting there. There we go. Todd Phillips left comedy to make Joker because woke culture ruined the genre. How'd the guy who made the Hangover movies turn such a dark twist on the superhero genre? Phillips blames the current culture. Todd Phillips is hardly the first name most audiences would associate with the current run on dark, gritty comic book movies. Best known for his comedy hits and a few misses like the Hangover trilogy, Road Trip, Old School, and the 2004 remake of Starsky and Hutch. Phillips has long trafficked in laughs with just the right amount of edgy appeal. He's hardly the kind of guy to take on the violent origin story of one of contemporary entertainment's most notorious villains, and yet, with his Joaquin Phoenix starring Joker, he's done just that. Why? Well, for one, they repurposed the script. And 2, I think Todd Phillips has been destined for this kind of filmmaking. If you watch the first Hangover film, it's a very well-directed, stylish film. I love the first Hangover film. I think it's one of the best comedies ever made, and also, again, it's got a great soundtrack. The directing and editing is phenomenal in that movie. In a new interview in Vanity Fair. Okay, so it's in Vanity Fair. Let's go there. No, okay. I thought that was in Vanity Fair. Okay, in a new interview in Vanity Fair, ostensibly centered around star Phoenix, the filmmaker opined about why he chose to move from broad comedies to something as dark as the Joker. Turns out he just couldn't hang with the current culture. Go try to be funny nowadays with the woke culture. Hell yeah, dude. And I'm sure most of you out there have noticed YouTubers who wouldn't have said the word woke 3 months ago are making videos called Woke Disney. And I think it's very interesting. Our boys at Echo Base Net, or no, it wasn't Echo Base Network, it was somebody else, put up John Campea pretty much coming around on The Last Jedi. God, what was that? I'll figure out the channel and let you guys know. Go try to be funny nowadays with this woke culture, Phillips told Vanity Fair. There were articles written about why comedies don't work anymore. I'll tell you why, because all the fucking funny guys are like, fuck this shit because I don't want to offend you. Phillips was apparently afraid of the hordes of comedy haters currently active on social media. He continued, "It's hard to argue with 30 million people on Twitter. You just can't do it, right? So you just go, I'm out. I'm out." And you do, and you know what? With all my comedies, I think that what comedies in general all have in common, they're they're irreverent. So I go, how do I do something irreverent? But fuck comedy. Oh, I know. Let's take the comic book movie universe and turn it on its head with this. And so that's really where they came from. Despite the resistance to poking the Twitter masses with an irreverence that can only be perceived as offensive, Phillips and his film have courted more controversy than any of these previous features. Since the film debuted at Venice, every big win, including a surprising Golden Lion at a rapid entry into the awards conversation, has been met with increasing scrutiny and outright worries, including warnings from the U.S. military to be on the lookout for incel violence, which is the most ridiculous thing that wins the most ridiculous thing in this entire culture war. That wins the golden SJW for ridiculousness. At screenings to the premiere that closed its red carpet and interviewing press, lest they take questions so tough that they make talent walk away instead of answering. Now, before we get into this, I haven't seen this movie, and it might be a tour de force for Joaquin Phoenix. I still see it as it'll probably be a great movie, but turning the comic book film industry on its head, no. There have been other comic book films that came out prior to the MCU that were just as dark and just as gritty that just people haven't seen. And, I think back to Sin City. I remember when Sin City came out, I had the PBS crowd started coming into my store and buying Sin City graphic novels. Sin City's more stylish, but it's definitely more violent. It's not superhero, but it's the short memory of the access media. I'm sure it's going to be a good film. I am. And we also have to mirror it with Birds of Prey. So Birds of Prey, my very short reaction to the trailer is it is the first official SJW comic movie. Recently surviving families of the 2012 Aurora shooting when 12 lives were lost at Colorado movie theater where The Dark Knight Rises was screening expressed concern about the film's potential to spark similar attacks, blah, 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 blah. Joker is hardly the first big leap for Phillips, and the filmmaker told IndieWire back in 2016 he was confused about the commentary surrounding his latest project, the darker skewing fact-based tale War Dogs. At the time, Phillips said, "I remember when I did documentaries and I started doing narrative films and people would go, 'How did you make that leap?' I would go, it's all storytelling. It's the same process. I just don't see it as a big leap." And that's what it is. It's building a narrative. Documentaries are the only thing is they rely heavily on editing. You got to be a good editor. I love documentaries. Even that supposed leap wasn't too big. However, Todd Phillips told himself he pointed to shared themes between War Dogs and the Hangover trilogy, a narrative obsessed that seems to have carried over to the Joker regardless of genre constraints. It's a movie about guys making bad decisions that lead them to mayhem, which is really all my movies are about, the filmmaker said. Oddly, it's almost too similar to me. I love chaos. So bad decisions lead to mayhem equals chaos. And I just love chaos. I love it in my own life. I love it in the movies. I love documenting it. I love documenting it in the movies. That at least has not changed. You got to have a little bit of chaos in your life. You most definitely do. Keeps things interesting. I tried personally to do the normie grind thing for Doug remembers that. During my first marriage in the 90s, I just tried working the 9 to 5 and I did okay at it, but I started to go insane towards the end. So it's not for me. It's not for me. But it really, structured lives aren't bad either. Okay, they're not bad either. Let me make sure I put off the right one. There we go. What's up? So that's good to hear. We're hearing this more and more. I guess we can call this the Chappelle effect officially right now. It wasn't Chappelle. There's been quite a few people on YouTube for many years warning a lot of people about this, but it took Chappelle to wake people up in comedy. And, I talked about this. I talked about this months ago when Doctor Who was out. Doomcock and I talked about it. We both said that we need a Blazing Saddles. We need something to free us from this nightmare. And it's slowly happening. I think a lot of that, I think Twitter needs to, Twitter's good for the channel. It really is. I like promoting stuff in the channel. I like interacting with you guys at Twitter. I don't follow actors. I don't follow writers except for Seth and Tom Constantino. I'm followed by a porn star now, which is cool as hell. We'll show you that in a second. But I don't get in Twitter beefs. I don't see them. I'm sure people sling shit at me, but I just don't see it, and I don't get involved. And it's nice. It's nice. I don't have time for it. I simply don't have time for it. Chappelle was the final straw. He was, and it was necessary, and I'm glad it happened. And God, I'm going to watch his special while I'm waiting in the airport as well. All right, let's get to some super chats here, and then we'll get back to you in the chat. Best time is now for $4.99. New York City never sleeps, and neither do I. Long live the Inquisition. Hell yeah, the Inquisition freaking rocks. Dude, I love that show. And we got to thank Game of Thrones for that. I got like a dog hair in my eye or something. Jesus Christ, it's bugging the shit out of me. Adam Chow for $9.99. Gary is like Ron Burgundy. Whale's vagina. They are both from San Diego. Both always keep it classy and both give us great news coverage like nobody else can. Ron yells, "Assemble!" and Gary goes live and people come running. Assemble! News team. I love Ron Burgundy. The first one. Second one, not so much. Kid Menu Jeremy for $2 says, Gary, check your email after the stream. I will. I got to put the finishing touches on packing. Like this. I got to bring Q. I'm probably going to leave my buttons. And I got to bring my mic. Logan Michael Anti-Funko Pops for $2.99. You know what he's going to say? Pops are gay. Oh, he says pop gay. Pops are, I think they're finally dying out. It only took, a decade? God, I made a lot of money off those, though. Logan Michael, I made a lot of money off those, I've got to say. Adam Child, $4.99. Star Wars news keeps me trapped in a glass cage of emotion. Baxter! And Disney says the new Star Wars works 0% of the time, all the time. LOL, Ron Burgundy. 60%, 0% of the time, it works all the time. Fan Addicts of Film for $5. Agreed, Logan. Anti-Funko Pops. Funko Pops are the representation of what the fake fandom is. They are complete fake BS. They are. And they started rising right around when this weird change happened in fandom. And that's how long it's going to take to fight it. Like, this has been going on for 10 years. It's been, especially in the comic book industry. I started noticing it 2006. Greg Rucka was kind of the first SJW writer to me. He wrote a Wolverine. I barely remember the comic now, but he wrote a Wolverine where Wolverine was bitching about gun control. The Big Red Bear for Canadian $2. I'm painting my Lord of Change. This is background. Cool, Big Red Bear. What's up? Good day, eh? Fan Addicts of Film for $2. Zoe Quinn is a villain, thinking she is a hero. She needs a lot of help. It's not going to end well. I've known many people, men and women like Zoe Quinn, and it never ends well. And I don't mean that. Don't mistake that for a threat. It's just karma gets you. That type of lifestyle, allegedly, in my opinion, grifting all the time. always going for the easy money, for attention. You know what? It reminds me a lot of being in the drug culture. That's the kind of life I had to lead. I mean, I wasn't as bad as her, but you're always kind of hustling, in the drug culture. It's just no way to live a life. You don't know where your next meal's coming from, and yeah, it sucks. So, yeah, Chris Morlock for $2. Where was your shop at San Francisco, and what was its name? It was called the Comic Outpost, and it was on 2381 Ocean Avenue in San Francisco by San Francisco State, across the street from Commodore Sloat Elementary School. And right next to, well, it's not there anymore, a tanning salon, which wasn't bad. And it's still there. It's called the Comics Experience Outpost now, and it looks mostly the same from when I left it. It's got the carpet in there my carpet tile that I laid, but they moved the counter, and I hate where they put the counter. Chris Morlock, thank you very much for the $2. Dennis Kolsnikov, I got it, for 60 rubles. At last, my insomnia matches Gary's stream. Yay! Well, that's good. I mean, that's bad. That's bad. I don't want you to have insomnia. Insomnia sucks, right? JPRPH1 for $4.99. Hail, Gary. Was just about to go to sleep when a notification came up. Well, hallelujah. Safe travels this week and enjoy the con. I will, my friend. And if the Destiny captain is out there, because he's got to be out there, because he always wants to ask, I got his package. It's a Twilight Zone shirt. It's awesome. And I took a picture of it, and it's going to go on Instagram. JPRPH1, thanks, man. Dennis for 40 rubles. By the way, Me Too founder sued for slander. Did you know? No. Not surprised. Not surprised. I will look that up. Yeah, you're going to see the tide turning on a lot of stuff, on a lot of things. Trek Dog for $21.99. Hail, Gary. Special shout out for Friday Night Tights. Uche was on fire. Uche is awesome. So we're going to have him back for sure. Over Man of Steel, great discussion. I'd love to see this kind of battle over Star Trek Discovery versus Orville versus Star Trek Picard. More Trek for the dog and everybody else. Trek is coming, my friend. I know it's a little quiet right now, but honestly, this is the quiet time for this channel. Things are going to liven up in about a couple weeks when we're going to cover Watchmen. Then we got the holidays. Then The Expanse fires up. And then right after The Expanse, it's Doctor Who and Star Trek Picard at the same time. And that's when things are going to be nuts. There's going to be, for one, there'll be my live videos. If you're new to the channel, I cover television live, kind of like Talking Dead. So about 15 minutes after the shows I cover airs, like in the UK for Doctor Who fans, I will be live 15 minutes after, and we do about a half an hour discussion, and then I cut a video for Monday. And we're going to start incorporating the discussion into the videos, like your questions, your gripes at me. That's fine. Howdy do it for $2. Where do babies come from? They come from eggs. It's obvious. From the planet Epsilon 5. Jason M, $2. My sister wants me to buy Game of Thrones Season 8 because why? That's been the only way we've been seeing it in the past. I got to watch 8 at my friend's, so I try not to tell her it sucks, but she still wants to see it. What do I do? Let her see it. Let her see it. And, don't say I told you so. Just be there for her. Just be a good, you said is your sister. I was going to say, be a good boyfriend, be a good brother, or, it's Game of Thrones. I mean, that could mean the same thing, to be honest with you. But seriously, be a good brother, be there for her, and just watch the pain and misery. Same's coming for Star Wars. Same is coming for Star Wars. Star Wars Saga Collapse. That's a video title right there. Jeff, thank you for the $20, by the way. Does she want you to buy it with your money, though? I mean, I'd make her buy it. Jeffrey Riley for $5. I wish they'd stop trying to destroy our culture. We don't want to destroy theirs. That's a great point. Fact of the matter is, Jeffrey, there's no question. I hate to call it sides, but there's no question what side you're on and what side I'm on and what side all of us are on. We just want to be left alone to watch our entertainment. We don't want to be harassed. We don't want to be called Nazis or istophobes. They still do it, but they're losing their power. So as the SJWs and the NPCs and just the very, very lonely, insecure people out there who have found some kind of power on Twitter, we need to release that power because we actually give it to them. They don't have, but the thing is, they have power over the entertainment media right now, and that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting for influence over entertainment, or we just got to walk away. And that's a point I'll get to. I'm still upset about it because, again, I've been watching this stuff my entire life. So it's not easy to walk away, but I haven't bought a Marvel comic in over a year. That's the first time that has happened since I was 5. So Marvel Comics has had me for a customer for 45 years, and they lost me. They lost me because they want to go to gain a female audience that's just not there. It's just not there. The only thing that was keeping comics alive was nostalgia. Anything new will be, honestly, manga style. They'll continue printing books. They'll continue printing trades for a certain amount of time, but the pamphlet is dead. If digital was going to catch on, it would have caught on a long time ago, and it's too easy to pirate, so that's never, ever, and believe me, I've seen what artists and creatives get paid from digital. The stores, what's going to happen to the stores is they're going to revert back to what they were originally. They're just going to sell old comics, and God, I'm okay with that. That sounds great. But it's sad. It's sad, but the newsstand type Diamond front stores, those are done. Diamond's got an expiration date, and Diamond could have avoided that. Diamond could have worked with Marvel and DC, and they could have figured something out with the retailers, but the retailers had their head in the sand for so goddamn long, and the very few that have power and influence are, quite frankly, I'm not going to name them all. There are some great retailers out there who have the greater good in mind. One of them that comes to mind is Jamie Newbold at Southern California Comics. That guy has the greater good. I mean, he's got a perfect formula for a comic shop. And the fact of the matter is, if you're going to have a legit comic shop, you got to have some back issues. You got to have some cheddar. And Jamie is an ex-cop, retired ex-cop. He works down in San Diego. It's called Southern California Comics. If you're ever in San Diego, seek that shop out. From the outside, it doesn't look like much, but he's got more shit than anybody. He's got the best and most organized back issue selection I have ever seen. And he was my mentor for a long time. There are other comic shop retailers who have a lot of influence who don't have the industry's best interests in mind, and they come at it or they come at it a little too skewed because they don't have a lot of, how do I call it? Worldly experience. I'll just say that. They don't get out much. Comics is all they've known. And what comic shop retailing innovation really needs is somebody who hasn't grown up in it and been in it all their lives. They need somebody who's done something else, who's succeeded somewhere else, knows other types of businesses. The first thing I noticed when I got there was Diamond ran an old program that was decades old, or 12, 13 years old when I got there. And they had no reason to innovate because they have no competition. And it was just a slow death. Then the political shit happened, and that was the last thing the industry needed. There are still so many who won't even bring it up. The comic industry needs a Todd Phillips. They need Man, pick a name. You're not going to get it out of Bendis or Mark Waid or somebody with respect. Scott Snyder. They need a Scott Snyder to come out and say, you know what, woke culture is ruining comics. And then, of course, the Twitter mob would turn on them and turn on poor Scott Snyder, and he would buckle. We need some, and there's just not that many people that have got that much power within the comic industry anymore. There's no more Frank Millers. It just isn't. And a lot of the artists and a lot of the creatives agree with the very strange Twitter mobs and the blue check marks. And it's just killing their industry. And they're not going to be able to afford their houses or their apartments anymore. And believe me, I know some of these people. There's not a lot of jobs out there for them. They need to draw comics or write them. And there's some retailers out there that need to retail comics because they got nothing else. Justin Doyle for £5. What's up, my friend? Morning from the UK, Gary. Do you think someone somewhere every few years back said, destroy all their heroes? Yes. Do you think it's there is an agenda. There is something going on, whether it's just a bunch of like-minded people moving forward in the same path, maybe, or is there a political agenda? Well, if you look at pretty much everything Disney, pretty much everything from ABC, pretty much everything from network television, pretty much everything in the last couple of years, it's all had very similar themes. Time's up for white men. And you've seen it okay for people to be outwardly racist towards white men. It's fine. I'll probably see or hear some of it at Comic-Con. Oh, I will do another Comic-Con cringe panel live stream when I get to New York. That'll be tomorrow night. I'll go over my guide and we will pick all of the cringe panels. It's late. We're going to go over all the cringe panels, like powerful women in map painting and powerful women in lettering, powerful women in inking, powerful women in binding. That might be kind of fun. You know what I mean? Will you be there for us when episode 9 comes out? Yes. Laughing gas. As a matter of fact, if you're in the Bay Area, there's a bunch of us, we're going to see it together. So we're going to buy a bunch of tickets to Cats, and there might be 20 people sneaking in the store. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull that off. We might have to actually pay for the movie. I don't want to, but I got to cover it. But we will go down and we can go see it at the Metreon, go eat at Mel's Diner. I like Mel's Diner. And it's based on the Mel's Diner from American Graffiti. It's got George Lucas pictures in there and everything. It's in downtown San Francisco. Mr. Twisted, $1.99. Hail, Gary Nerdrotic. Remember me? LOL. Yes, I do. What is up, my friend? I haven't seen you in a long time. I saw you on Patreon. I did. I saw you there. Nightwish fan, 1991. And thank you, Mr. Twisted. It's good to see you. This is a long timer right there. Nightwish fan, 1991. $5. Lindelof must hate me because the first episode of Watchmen drops on my birthday. Worst gift ever. Yeah. If I might get a chance to see that. So I'll let you know. I'm going to hold off on my review though, because Doomcock and I are going to review it together on the Inquisition. While the Watchmen is running, will be dedicated to the Watchmen. So it's going to be. And that's essentially what we're going to do. When Westworld comes out, we're going to dedicate it to Westworld. It'll be just like our Game of Thrones coverage. We might I'm guessing we're going to alternate this time though. Osiris 3344 for Australian $10. The amount of content that is being created that is Me Too is insane. If there is a Caucasian couple, chances are the guy will be dead by the end. It's become a trope. It is. It absolutely is. And the Birds of Prey movie, I'm not even half kidding about that. I watched the trailer. Aside from Harley Quinn, how many DC recognizable heroes could you find? How many of those heroes looked like they did in the comics in their classic costumes? None. The answer is none. It plays like an SJW comic book because it is. It's the first official SJW movie. And you know what? Marvel beat them to it. Now, Captain Marvel could technically be called the first one, but it's more like a weird feminist movie than woke. This one's going to be just woke in every turn. And it's based, and we're in the, by the way, all this shit's going to get erased by J.J. Abrams. So Joker, none of this shit's going to count. Not even the Wonder Woman film. They're going to do a hard reset, and then J.J. is going to jack up DC. Jack it up bad. Black Batman, possibly. You know, stuff like that. Black Superman, maybe. See, here's the problem. We haven't seen a definitive Superman since Christopher Reeves. I have never seen a definitive Batman on screen. We've seen a definitive Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi. I'd say that's definitive. We haven't seen a definitive X-Men, but it turns out that the Fox will have done it much better than Disney will do it. There's a lot of characters. I mean, DC, the sky's the limit if they get their shit together, but giving it to J.J. Abrams was just the worst idea ever. Now, hopefully, Matt Reeves, who is a J.J. Abrams disciple, so I'm very skeptical, can pull it off with Robert Pattinson. Listen, Batman belongs on television, not on film. And the new writer, I'm forgetting his name, who's taking on in comics, applied something to it that I haven't heard in a long time. Batman is noir, detective, adventure, and horror. And that's what's been missing from Batman. Hang on. So, Mr. Twisted, damn, it's good to see you. It's been a long time. It's been like a year, dude. Cardinal Sin. A good friend Cardinal Sin for $5. I've waited all day for your live stream. Got my Comics Outpost comics in the mail today. Thrilled. So happy to be part of the Nerdrotic nattering nabobs. You are part of it. I'm glad you enjoyed your comics. Mrs. Nerdrotic has really helped me get shit together. I have been completely overwhelmed with the channel growth and the messages and everything. And she, because she has time, after running her salon to help her scatterbrained ADHD drug-addled-brained husband. So it is awesome that she's got my back, always. Mr. Twisted 72, 2 jobs, taking care of mother, and whoa, no, with cancer, miss it. Mr. Twisted, $1.99. I know what you're going through. I do. My father, Mr. Beekler, who Dougie, the official Dougie J, knew, passed away. It's damn near 18 years ago now of cancer, and that was rough, dude. That was beyond rough. Cancer sucks. F cancer. I hope she recovers. I hope she's doing well. Give her my best, my friend. Get together right now for $2. Just a donation. Nothing to say. Thank you. Yeah, we need to get together right now. We really do. I don't like... I mean, the whole thing about this is I hate what Hollywood has done to fandom. My beloved fandom. My oasis. My people. The place where I can go and not think about real world shit and have fun. And it's weird now. Going to Comic-Con is weird now. Going to a Star Trek convention and getting dirty looks. That's weird. That's weird just because I have opinions. That sucks. It sucks. I mean, I can handle it, but it sucks. We should be having a good time. We should be debating other things. Nova Zero for Australian $5. Episode 9 drops on my birthday. I am so sorry. When it comes to trauma, I think I win victim points. Something for episode 8. I need counseling, darn it. Well, that's what we provide here. And you gave us super chats and I thank you, but it is free. It is free. Thank you. So you're on the clock, Nova Zero. Tell me about your mother. Yes. Did your mother like the prequels? I'm sorry. You'll be okay. Because The Expanse comes out, I think, a few days before The Rise of Skywalker. You have time to catch up on The Expanse if you get Amazon Prime down there in Oz. Check it out. It's good science fiction. It's a good show. Loquacious Primate for $5. Are you guys seeing Joker before the meetup? And if so, which theater are you using? If you know, I don't know. Loquacious, I might be able to find out though. Hang on. I will find out for you right now. Oh Jesus. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. I'll see if he mentions it in the email. Alamo Drafthouse, Brooklyn, October 3rd, 10:15 p.m. You got that? Alamo Drafthouse, Brooklyn, New York, 10:15 p.m. I'll be there with Jeremy. So try to make it, Loquacious. Qui-Gon. Thank you for the $5, Loquacious. Qui-Gon for 20 Norwegian crowns. Kevin Conroy, DCAU, is the definitive Batman. You know what? You got me there. You got me there. Batman the Animated Series is the definitive Batman that's not in comics. I sit corrected. All out of bubblegum. Well, yeah. And you know what, though? Batman the Animated Series is the greatest thing ever. I really loved Batman Brave and the Bold. I thought that was the coolest show. Nerdrotic Jr. loved it. All out of bubblegum for $5. Just saying hello, Gary. Sorry that I had to be missing out on the live streams. Have a wonderful evening. I am sorry too, my friend, but I'm glad to see you here. Any moment you pop in is good for me. And catch them when you can. And remember, kids, a lot of the live streams like this one will end up on Nerdrotic Live. I'll upload this right after it's done. It'll be about an hour or so. I keep it unlisted, so hang on to the link. If you want to catch it later, it'll never really go away. And then eventually it ends up on nerdrotic.com as a podcast. So you can subscribe to me on iTunes or Player FM as well. J Love for $5. The trend in ripping off good stories and replacing the characters is called feminist revisionist mythology. Look it up. The definition says it all. It really does. That's a real thing, Jay? Oh man, you learn something every night. Yeah, I call it male appropriation. It's male appropriation. And you know what? I don't mind being appropriated, but it's usually, I don't kiss and tell. So, okay. Speaking of male appropriation, we need to talk about Sheev Palpatine. Sheev Palpatine. Let's see if no, we don't want to look at that one. We don't want to look at that one. We want to look at this one. That's right. Boom. Okay. Now, this is in the comics. And again, this is Marvel and Disney. I put up a tweet today. What did my tweet say? I usually don't tweet stuff like this, but I was pissed when I saw it. I actually had an emotion when it came to Star Wars, which is where, god dang, I'm not a very good typer with my left hand. I'm not a very good typer with my right hand. There we go. We're going to get to Twitter. And I said, I don't want to misquote myself. Disney Star Wars is now embarrassingly lame. Disney and Marvel, you have pulled off a miracle. You turned the Beatles into Hanson. And it is. Doug, if you're still out there, we've gone full circle. We actually deserve to get our asses kicked if we wear Star Wars shirts now. I got my ass kicked for wearing a Star Wars shirt in elementary school, for being a nerd. And now we've put the nerds back in the corner by being incredibly lame. I want to punch myself for liking Star Wars. I feel like a fool for liking this, but there is a line of demarcation. The more ridiculous Disney Star Wars gets, the less it counts. This shit don't count. Star Wars ended with episode 6, and this is just fanfic, cosplay, directionless mystery box storytelling garbage. And Marvel Comics doing this, I thought it was a joke. I thought this was a goddamn joke. So, warning, spoilers ahead. Does anybody care? By the way, we're going to look at how many comics Dr. Aphra sold last month. Whether or not Emperor Palpatine ever returns, there's no denying that the Empire's greatest weakness was having him as a leader. Cruel, vindictive, hateful, and detested across the galaxy. It's a miracle Emperor Palpatine took as long as he did to lose power. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this. But now Star Wars has revealed the woman who was actually keeping the Empire together all those years, despite his incompetent leader, Imperial Minister Patina Vur, or Galpatine. We're going to call her Galpatine. Every fan is going to want to know the woman born Patina Mar Mas Vur. 25 years before Sheev Palpatine began his rise to power, married to a lame duck bureaucrat in the Empire's ruling class of competing officers and governors, Patina saw history repeating itself. That below all the bravado, intimidation, and posturing, the expansion of the Empire through brute force was killing it even as it spread, running out of both soldiers and money, and Patina just might have led the Galactic Empire to total success, if not for one crucial weakness. Emperor Palpatine had absolutely no idea how to lead. Oh my God. Oh my God. I didn't read the article. I think, like sometimes when you get a muscle cramp, I have a cringe cramp. I can't uncringe right now. Patina offers her account in the pages of Star Wars Dr. Aphra 36 from Simon Spurrier and Chris Bolzen should be banned from comics forever for writing this, and Wilton Santos. She has the reason to assassinate Palpatine, claiming it's for the sake of the Empire, while others might have seen how doomed Palpatine was as a tyrant and worked the situation to their own benefit before the Empire collapsed. Patina acted, encouraging her husband's suicide to spare himself a traitor's death at Vader's hand, which was not actually coming. Patina claimed, it's expendable man here. Patina claimed his position for herself, acknowledging that the Emperor Palpatine may have known the truth of her deception. He guaranteed her influence and position anyway, which is when she began to enact her true vision for the Empire's successful expansion, because the Emperor would have never have sensed that with, that thing called the Force. But, what do I know? A system Star Wars fans and fans of political history will appreciate, since the three tenets she instituted are exactly how an empire grows stronger through expansion, whether it's galactic or not. Within a year, I had established the Coalition for Progress and coined the three guiding tenets of imperial outreach. Oh my God. Doug, if you're out there, my oldest friend, Doug, who read Bantha tracks with me when we were 8 and 9 years old. Did you ever imagine it coming to this? Oh my God, be careful what you wish for. Giant corporations are the worst things for franchises. Franchises can grow without them. Franchises can grow to create them, but corporations cannot maintain them. It is impossible. You can't run these things by a committee. You can't run these things by bankers. This is the worst shit I've ever read. First, we show the people the face of chaos, the pirates, the raiders, the mobsters, and the monsters. Some are real, most we invent. Anything to make the dumb natives beg for a garrison to save them. Next, we show them how perfect their worlds could be in the Empire's embrace. Such order, such calm. I don't mind telling you, we've become extremely gifted at making false smiles look natural. And lastly, just a casual afterthought, we conspicuously wipe a tear for the world that says no. The days 2 or 3 conflicts resolve without a single shot fired. You understand? I have saved the regime. I have built a culture that transcends the clenched fist. I have nursed this empire with a lie in the expectation that eventually it will become the truth. Harmony and prosperity are the rewards for those who submit, and he is ruining everything. The plan outlined by Patina can be seen throughout the Star Wars saga, being enacted at different stages on numerous worlds. On one hand, it explains that the Empire made so many backroom deals with warlords, crime bosses, and pirate gangs, since they created the very threats the Empire promised to eliminate through total submission. But all that work is for nothing if you have a leader who looks every bit the villain he truly is, and who torments and kills and crushes and desires. This is what evil's supposed to be. These guys don't even know how to fucking tell a story anymore. We don't need to know this shit. And it almost sounds like Disney's trying to make empires look good. That's the kind of tyrant who inspires rebellion with every world he dominates, meaning he has nobody to blame but himself for his own destruction, because he's a man. The Emperor Galpatine would have ran it just fine. There would be no need for rebellion. Jesus Christ. That is... God. That was so bad. I don't even want to do a video on that. It's depressing. It's goddamn depressing what has happened to Star Wars. Hail, Gary, dropping in to say hi, says Stone Cold Jeremy for $2. So there was a woman behind Palpatine. Are we surprised? No. But they're still going to bring him back. Mr. Incompetent's going to come back. And, it kind of reflects the incompetency that's running Disney right now, because if you bring back Palpatine, you undo the sacrifices that Luke and Anakin made, but those were needless sacrifices because they sacrificed their lives to kill a boob, to kill a moron. Mongo just pawn in Game of Life. Kaiju Spirit for $10. Hey, Gary, tonight's news about the Emperor made me decide to dust off Galaxy's Quest for Friday night. The only sci-fi IP that can go untouched. Never give up, never surrender. Well, Disney will probably fuck that one up too. But yes, it's the only one and honestly, Babylon 5, because it's in rights hell, I don't think it'll ever get screwed up either. And Farscape right now is pure as well. God. All out of bubblegum for $2. Could this Kathleen Kennedy projecting herself? Could this be Kathleen Kennedy projecting herself? It is. It is. You know it. She's probably brunette. Lady Miss for $20. Have you heard if they've messed with The Expanse? Not yet. It seems to be the last holdout on the work on the woking of all the movies and shows. What they are doing is like a virus spreading through everything and killing it. I'll tell you this, Lady Mist. I've read all of the Expanse books, and the books definitely go in that direction. The last book out of it has first-person perspective stories, kind of like the Song of Ice and Fire books. It had Holden, our main character, has been put to the back of the bus for the last 2 books, and I don't like it. Now, that's not anything they can pull off with the show. If they try that with the show will die. And the show has made some major corrections with the books. The books are great through 1 through 5, and then they start getting a little rough. 6, 7, not so great. 8 was better. It's got 4 female protagonists, but it's still a much better book. Like, shit goes down, and it's got a proper bad guy. yes, the Expanse could go woke. We have to consider that possibility. I fully expect when I see Mr. Robot this Sunday to be Orange Man bad wokeification. I'll be surprised if it isn't. I'll be pleasantly surprised. But Sam Esmail has made no secret of his politics. As a matter of fact, the Post they did a live show right after the end of Mr. Robot 2 years ago, by the way it was. And season 3 was good. It was an improvement on season 2. But all Sam Esmail talked about, Orange Man. Hail, Gary. I may be in New York this week. Nicholas Glenn, awesome. Still up in the air, but hopefully I can make it. Do you know what day you guys are going to do the meetup and where? It's going to be near the Shake Shack in Brooklyn, New York on Thursday. I believe it's before we see the Joker. But don't quote me on that. It could be after, too. It's the city that never sleeps. I know Jeremy never sleeps, but unfortunately I do. So I need to 2:30 in the morning is like the latest I can stay up before I fall asleep where I'm standing. But Nicholas Glenn, pay attention to the Twitter, pay attention to the website, and pay attention to the community section. Tito's World for $2. Kevin Feige will cast Brie Larson as Patina Voorhees. I was thinking that too. She'll be Galpatine. Rhino 4563 for $10. I can't believe this garbage they're pushing. I can see why George is unhappy. Yeah. They are literally undoing everything he created right in front of him. Can't wait to see you guys on Thursday. Can't wait to see you two either. And for them to throw away his roadmap for this shit is a slap in your face, my face, George's face, Lee Brackett, Gary Kurtz. Is it Marsha Lucas? What was Lucas's ex-wife's name? Marsha Lucas, I think. Yeah, her face too. Hell, Rick McCallum's face. Polish Mob for $8. Catch the red eye next time. It's usually people are usually more quiet and more friendly. They turn off the overhead lighting as well. You know, I will. I meant to do that, but we couldn't. I booked the flight too late or something. But yeah, so I'm flying in the morning. I'm leaving at. I have to be up in 4.5 hours. So that's why I'm staying up late. So I have to be up in 4.5 hours. I got to be at the airport at 6 a.m. Flight leaves at 8. I lose 3 hours. So I leave at 8 and I arrive at 5:30. Then I go to the hotel and then I'm going to meet Jeremy somewhere around 7. That's the plan. I'll live stream tomorrow night. I'll probably be delirious. But if I sleep on the plane, that's great. Because then I can sleep through the whole damn flight. Because I freaking hate flying. And I don't do drugs or drink. So I just got a deal. I won't make you say my name today. CJ Franks, I just said your name. For $2, CJ Franks. Say my name, say my name. All right, let's get to the chat. What's up, you people in the chat? Let's see what you got to say. God damn that Screen Rant. Screen Rant is just the shilliest of shill. Gertz from the Netherlands. What's up? What's up, Gary? What Captain's Log? What's up with you? Tom Bornholt. There are 4 Shake Shacks in Brooklyn. Gary, which one? I'll check. Hang on. I've never been to a Shake Shack, so we'll see if it's better than In-N-Out. We will see if it's better than In-N-Out. Oh, whoops. Helps to spell it right. The Shake Shack at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Oh, okay. Also, let me know if you. That's Wednesday. So I don't know where the meetup is. So the meetup's probably going to be prior to us seeing the movie on Thursday. So we'll give you a location. The Shake Shack, I guess, is going to be Wednesday night. Barclays Center at Brooklyn. That sounds good to me. But keep an eye on Twitter. Because I don't know for sure on that one. I really don't. Nothing beats the original Tommy's chili. Are down in original Tommy's. LA or San Diego. There's Tommy's down in San Diego. Their breakfast is awesome. Don't talk about food right now. Hi, Gary from Joplin, Missouri. Keep the faith, says Princess Unicorn. I will keep the faith. I promise. The fraud is strong with that comic. It is. It really is. Lucas should never have sold the IP to Disney. The games and movies are suffering greatly, says Hypius Omega. They are. Well, yes, they are. Hammer. Oh, what about the horrid leak that they're retconning the other Yoda? The other Yoda spoke of is now Rey. Yeah, I absolutely see that happening. Oh yeah, she is the key to everything. Everything was leading to her. I can see myself laughing at the end of this movie, just laughing my ass off. George could have done it in any way he wanted to when it was his. Instead, he made the lame prequels, and how is Lucas now vindicated? He was nearly crucified by the fans for his film, says Boz. Well, Disney Star Wars. Disney Star Wars made the prequels look a lot better. And I will admit, they look a lot better, but they're not good. They're not good films. The acting is horrible, and the directing is just as bad, but there are good moments. There's some amazing moments in them. Not going to lie to you there. But they're not good. I mean, Star Wars is mostly not good. Sorry to say that, but now the two films are two of the greatest films ever made. Gary Kurtz had something to do with that. Have you seen the Black Canary cosplay on Bounding into Comics Anastasia Lion? It makes me so angry that we've had 6 live action Black Canaries and none were as good as Anastasia Lion. I couldn't even tell that was Black Canary, Philip A. Demick, until Charlie told me that on Emergency Awesome when I was watching the trailer. I'm all, oh, that's Black Canary? That's Black Canary. And Cassandra Cain and Renee Montoya. You can't recognize any of them. Harley looks, you know what? Harley doesn't look good either. See, they're going to try to make a feminist film out of something that sells on sex. You know, I saw that article where Ruby Rose was saying that Batwoman's no Batwoman for old men or old white guys. Ruby, the vast majority of your audience is going to be old white guys watching two pretty girls kiss. I wonder if she really thinks that the LGBTQ community will be the majority of people watching that show. For one, it wouldn't get enough viewers. It will be old white dudes. Vast majority. Let's go up the chat a little bit. I can't be the 501st anymore after all this crap. I refuse to represent this farce for kids, charity. Hell no, I quit, says Deep Eyes. That sucks. The 501st does brilliant stuff, man. They do. It sucks to hear. I mean, listen, the 501st can still be connected to the original trilogy. Problem is, do you have, does the 501st do things for Disney though? That sucks, Deep Eyes. Sorry to hear that. Disney didn't cut Alita, but they don't have plans for it. Could it be that they don't have control of it? Cameron could take Alita to Paramount. Maybe he does. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they just have distribution rights. It's calculated. They did the same thing with Game of Thrones, deliberately slapping in the face and ruin the universe retroactively. Yes. Sheila Allen. I believe George is doing the same thing in the books, by the way. Oh, yeah. He talked about this right around when all this crap changed. Robert Meyer Burnett did a very interesting live stream today asking if sci-fi would go woke like comedy. And I laughed when I saw it. I'm like, would go woke? Sci-fi went woke right when comedy did. Have you heard of the Sad Puppies? The Sad Puppies is the Comics Gate and the Gamer Gate and the fandom menace of science fiction writing. And it has been completely infiltrated with the help of George R. R. Martin. And that was right around the time he said he's going to put in a big twist in his book. And that was right around the time it got delayed because I believe he is rewriting a big chunk of it to agendize it. And it already was. He didn't need to do it. That was the thing. So yeah, the more I think about Game of Thrones and the more I look at it, girl boss. It was girl boss fight, girl boss. It was completely woke. It was completely woke. I was saying, oh, it's just bad. And it was more bad than it was woke, but it was pretty damn woke. So, and I did say, listen, Arya was a Mary Sue from season 6 on, for sure. There was no explanation to her powers. She was just killing, an entire house of men that, by the way, that entire house of men that she killed by herself pretty much slaughtered half of the Northern Army. So, with the help of the Boltons, but Arya was able to do it all by herself. Nobody expects the assassin's blade. God, I'll never forget Cecil's quote. God bless Cecil. Cecil is love, by the way. I haven't seen Cecil. I wonder if I'm going to meet Cecil. He probably doesn't want to meet me. There we go. Yes, feminist revisionist mythology is a thing. It subverts stories. It makes villains into heroes and vice versa. It's political. Lisa Tuttle's book says this. Also, Tuttle dated George R. R. Martin. Wait a minute. She did? Isn't he married? I have some questions about George R. R. Martin. It's a late night stream. It's just us, 1,000 people. You won't say anything. So I did an Orville set visit thanks to Tom Constantino. I wasn't able to take any pictures of anything because I signed an NDA. So that kind of, that sucked. But I got to walk around on the Orville. I got to walk around on the Orville. It was being constructed. They at the end of each season, they break down the sets and then they rebuild them because they have to use the studios for other things. So they were in there and it was almost complete. It was completely badass. But George R. R. Martin was there too with his entourage of douchey Hollywood entertainment people with, spray tans and perfectly gelled hair and peg jeans and double cell phones and none of them looked interested in the least bit, except for one woman who was with them was completely into it, and she was cool and fun. But he had a lot of young girls. I don't know if one of them was his daughter. Maybe I don't know. One I definitely recognized as a writer. I did, but he had an entourage of about 12 or 13 people. George was cool. He didn't shake my hand though. He shook everybody else's hand except for mine. But he did wave to me. So I got a picture of him waving with an Orville hat. I'll put that on Twitter. But yeah, a lot of youngins, but I'm pretty sure he's married. So maybe it's an open relationship. Hey, I'm not judging. Do what you want. Dude, you get yours. Just finish the fucking book. The problem is he's not writing this month. That's hey, God, I could probably sell that story to like the Daily Mail because they're always writing some wins of winter news. George R. R. Martin said it's award season, so I won't be writing in the month of October. So no wins of winter in October. I didn't expect, nobody expects Nerdrotic at night, Larry. What's up, man, for $2? Yes, I'm trying to stay up late so I fall asleep on the plane. J. Louvre, is it Louvre or Love? Louvre? Thank you for the information. I am going to have to read that book now. I'm trying to get through Iger's book. All the best parts are known, to be honest with you. You get some context, but that. I know it's off topic, but I wanted to know if you got a chance to check out The Boys made by Amazon. If so, what is your take on it? Well, my take has evolved, JFB, for $5. They made some changes to the book that were done for girl power, strictly for girl power. And they dialed the book way back. So they made some changes for me too. And that bugged me. It bugged the shit out of me. But once I got over that, it's fucking great. The guy playing the Homelander he is from Banshee. It's fucking amazing. Carl Urban is pretty damn good as the Butcher. Wee Huey is pretty good too, but I can't unsee Simon Pegg in that role. But I liked it. I watched it 3 times all the way through, and I liked it a lot. And I'm very happy for my friend Derek Robertson, who was a co-creator. He got his due. This is a massive hit for Amazon, by the way. Just so you know, when none of us believe the streaming services when they say this is the biggest thing we've ever gotten, but I can confirm it's the biggest thing they've ever done. Amazon, TV-wise, it's their biggest show. It was a massive hit, and that's great. That's great for Derek. Derek deserves all the accolades. He's been grinding in the comic book industry for years and has been screwed over a lot. And it's funny that this book hit, because it's been it was supposed to be a movie a couple of times, and it really, Derek got excited, then he got bummed out, and that's how these things go. But hey, JFB, if you go to issue number 23, look at the first page and see if you recognize a certain YouTuber that you're talking to right now. Yeah, because I'm in the book. Gary would be great in a role. I would be great a Commissioner Gordon. God, I'm getting Commissioner Gordon roles. I want to be Batman, dude. No, I can't be Batman. Yeah, I'd play Commissioner Gordon. Hell yeah. Sign me up. Let's do it. Gordon's alive. I know it's a different Gordon. Back to the chat. Duck Fisney, man. Harry Gary, hope you make it in time for the meetup in Brooklyn. Regards, PJ, Orville Nation. I'll be, it's Thursday. So I'm going to get there tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow, 7. Hopefully the meetup's not on Wednesday. If it's on Wednesday, then I might be late, but I'll make it. I can be Egghead, says Last Fraction Zero. Yeah, I probably could. I'm not going to argue with you there. Steampunk Gordon, maybe. Yeah. What's going on? Mike S. Miller, Smiller. Did you moisturize your hair today? I don't like The Boys. I can't watch that sort of thing. I don't like deconstruction, says Ken Jack Ben, Nerdrotic. I was curious. We spoke about that, Ken Jack Ben, and I completely see where you're at. It's almost like The Boys came out a little late, isn't it? The Watchmen came out early. It's like the Watchmen movie should have come out now. And by the way, I like the movie. I do. I'm not, listen, I had to sell comic books for a living. So you can't be a purist on everything and sell comic books for a living. It just doesn't work. Now, I don't think I could sell any of this shit today. I would lose it. But, if you want to mess with canon a little bit, that's fine. As long as you don't completely undercut the characters that made a franchise. Luke Skywalker drinking out of a tit. Shit like that. I don't think we're asking for very much. What Star Trek did to Spock, Star Wars fans who haven't watched it, is equally as bad. And that is from Alex Kurtzman, who learned at the feet from J.J. Abrams. Listen, J.J. Abrams has amassed so much goddamn power in Hollywood. And I don't know if you watched my video today, but I hope you heard that quote where he said, a community is not best served when it's run by elites. Funny that he said that 10 years ago. I like science. There you go. Yeah. Mujeka, I love Zach's Watchmen. I do. Fire Alex Kurtzman, says Nala Shadow. Frack yeah. Like right now. If you want to save Star Trek, you got to fire him. Thoughts on Mark Hamill's comment about Ivanka Trump's son in a Stormtrooper's comic costume? I knew I was going to get asked that. I didn't. Okay. So the reason I didn't make a video on that, because I'm fully transparent here, is I try to stay away from politics. And I was watching Anna's video, and she did a great video on it. We love Anna, that Star Wars girl. Please go subscribe, support her. And I saw her chat turning into a political battle, and that's definitely what I don't want here. So, but honest thoughts on the tweet: classless, completely classless. I understand the tweet was to her and not the kid. I don't think there's any confusing that. But let's just pretend the kid wasn't there at all. Why do you make this tweet? Why? You got a Star Wars movie coming out. And quite frankly, Mark, you haven't been in the limelight in a long time. And now you're in the limelight. For the last few years, he's been a rock star again. But prior to that, a very well-respected voice actor. So you're not exactly a rock star. So he's gotten a lot of attention. I bet you he's loving it. So, but you know what the saddest thing about a lot of actors, and again, Mark has every right to his opinion. Free speech is free speech, man. That's it. Going after kids should be completely off limits. He should have associated that tweet to the adult Ivanka with a picture of just her by herself, or said something like, "Except the kid, he rocks," as a full grown-ass adult who's older than me with kids of his own. He shouldn't have made the tweet at all, because you're going to alienate half your audience with that tweet, even if there's no kid there. So there's no reason in the world. It does not benefit him to make a tweet except for a little dopamine hit from getting 500,000 likes, some ridiculous amount of likes. Why does Mark Hamill need the dopamine hit from a Twitter post? I mean, he's not the most successful actor in the world, but he was in the most successful franchise in the world. He's set for life. And he is one of the better voice actors out there. Set for life. He gets to pretend for a living. He should be happy. Does Mark Hamill look happy? Did he look happy prior to Star Wars coming back? No, he doesn't. So Mark is angry. Mark is, and it sucks. It sucks. He should be very happy and very grateful for the life he's got. And that kid rocked, by the way. I mean, it was a duck trooper, but I loved his boop. That was awesome. I love that. So the kid rocked. I don't know much about Ivanka at all, and I have no opinion on her other than if I was going to make a video on that, I would have titled it "Mark Hamill Attacks a Disney Star Wars Fan," because that's what he did. Ivanka was a fan. She bought her son a Star Wars costume. That is a fan. You know what mends fences and builds bridges? Fandom. Fandom used to do that. People, I always tell this story from the comic shop. Mrs. Nerdrotic's dad, two-tour Vietnam veteran, Chinook pilot, badass. Officer, badass. So he flew helicopters in Nam. He used to deliver beer and bodies. All right. And went back for another round. He was in my shop talking to my friend Bill. Uber liberal, Hollywood liberal, wrote a Twilight Zone episode. As a matter of fact, he painted the very first Star Wars poster that wasn't a movie poster, and it's that one of the Cantina Band. That's my friend Bill. So Melissa's dad and Bill, who Trump supporter, not a Trump supporter, were talking in my store over the TV they used to watch in the 60s. They talked for 3 hours in my store. That's what fandom does. They would have never agreed on a single thing politically, but they talked for 3 hours, had a great time, and are buds. Why? Because they didn't talk about politics, and because you don't need to. It's just one little aspect of your life. Fandom used to be free of that shit. It's not now. So shame on Disney, shame on Hollywood, shame on CBS, shame on all the creatives, and shame on Mark Hamill for being political in a tweet when you didn't need to. Dude, hold back. And yeah, again, I know you were aiming it at Ivanka, but dude, there was a kid in that picture. And you're saying go force yourself with a kid in a picture, and the kid represents the Star Wars. So you can't say he didn't notice it. So there, you got the video right there. He shouldn't have made the tweet at all, whether there was a kid there or not. He has every right to his opinion, but I think God, it sucks, but if I ever owned a business again and I had employees, they would have to sign a waiver that they wouldn't be political, or they just wouldn't have to work for me. I don't know if I'd be able to get away with that, but I used to ask my employees to do that when they worked at the comic shop, and they did that. Do not engage fans and customers for sure. No matter how much they're a dick, if they're a dick, you get me. I'll take care of it. They can yell at me. But yeah, that tweet was stupid. It was stupid. It doesn't help Star Wars. It doesn't help Mark. So Mark looked witty and edgy and cool to his base for what? A day? And Mark had a lot of respect across party lines, and he lost a ton of it because ultimately it was a classless move. And I would have said the exact same if it would have been somebody on the other side tweeting about Obama's kids or tweeting with Obama's kid in the picture. Same goddamn thing. Classless. An adult should know better, especially a professional representing Disney Star Wars. But I'm wondering if he did. My belief is that was a strategic thing because he sees what's going on. He pays attention to all this, and a lot of people are calling him fandom menace, and maybe that was a way to disassociate himself from it. It's kind of like, Jessie. I mean, she says it out in the open. Jessie from Mindless Entertainments, when she wants to purge some of her subs, she just does a video that'll piss half of them off. Interesting way to go about YouTubing, but that's why we love Jessie. For Mindless, subscribe to Jessie, by the way. We love Jessie. So yeah, it was stupid. It's fucking stupid. Luke sucks. I was right. No, I don't want to say. I mean, Luke as a character does not suck. Smiller. Mike S. Miller. Luke as a character, well, he sucks now. Disney Star Wars Jake Skywalker. No gods, no masters. Sagri Luzami says it was directed at Trump's family. I interpret it at the tweet the way he worded it as it was directed towards Ivanka, but when you mention the Star Wars and the kids wearing a wearing stormtrooper suit, yeah, I guess, listen, it shouldn't have been made. The tweet shouldn't have been made. Like I said, it was classless. I wouldn't have done it. He has a right to his opinion, but do it somewhere else, dude. The kid. Leave the kids out of it. Because Mark is a spoiled woke brat. Yeah, I mean, that's Hollywood. The problem is, being a spoiled brat when you're like 60, it's kind of pathetic. Jeremy should take cues from you on incorporating politics. Jeremy has his style. I have my style, and that's what makes us unique. The reason, I mean, this is what Jeremy said about this, and I back him 100% on this, is he felt like he couldn't speak about them at all because he was worried about backlash and stuff. And now, I think he does it to show that it's okay to talk about it, but I don't want to get into that discourse here because I'm trying to get that out of our entertainment. I am all for a political moratorium in entertainment and comics for like a year. It'd be fucking great to not hear anybody's politics. The thing is, what the left has been doing for a while now is trying to paint the right as just istophobes and Nazis. So they're confusing human rights with politics. So they just assume that the right is an istophobe. So or they assume that, we'll use war, for example. They just assume the right is like pro-war, when actually the right is more anti-war than the left right now, to be honest with you. It's switched. It's absolutely switched. The SJWs have become the religious right of the 80s. And honestly, the right has become very libertarian, very free expression, very left from the 60s. It's really bizarre. I never thought I'd see things go this way, but they have, and we got to deal with it. And unfortunately, they have all the power in entertainment. But ultimately, we have all the power. So what we're fighting like a battle on two fronts. We're fighting the entertainment industry, and we're also fighting fellow fans. And there's multiple factions within those fans. There's the fans who are the ideologues, but that's a small percentage. What we're really fighting is the consumers, the people who just eat up everything that is given to them that says Star Wars and Star Trek. Oh, it's better than no Star Trek at all. It's better than no Star Wars at all. No, actually it isn't. It's actually worse. So seeing Campia come around, seeing more and more people come around, you're going to see more because the realization is hitting with Star Wars, and Star Wars is the first domino to fall. Star Trek and Doctor Who are right behind you because they can't hide this shit much longer. I think Rise of Skywalker is a write-off at this point. I think it's going to be a complete disaster, and I could see it being wiped away from canon someday. Maybe someday in a couple of decades, there'll be some Disney executive who comes in on his or her white horse and says, my first act as Disney CEO is to wipe out 7, 8, and 9 from canon. This is my olive branch to the fans. Boy, that would make a difference. Because it's bad. I mean, it's forgettable bad. It's embarrassingly lame bad. Disney should be embarrassed right now with that goddamn comic book the plot from the comic book and what we're hearing. I mean, I haven't heard a single plot leak that sounds good. When I was hearing plot leaks from The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, some of them sound actually good. They sounded good. Too bad they didn't use them. Jeremy is my friend. Jeremy will run his channel as he sees fit, and I will back it. Jeremy probably doesn't agree with me on everything. I know we don't. We don't agree on J.J. Abrams and the prequels and a lot of stuff. And but he's still my friend, and I'll back his ability to say whatever the hell he wants. Same with Anna. Same with Jesse. Same with Jeff. Same with EVS. Same with your boy Zach, who I exchange emails with. I haven't talked to very much, but I exchanged emails with them. Very cool. And everybody, and even people like who aren't on our side or anything. Yeah, I think Jeremy's a cool dude. You got Jeremy. Jeremy's a cool guy. Trust me. I hung out with him for a few days. When are you going to visit us in Vegas and Pahrump again? Says Princess Unicorn for $1.99. I would think early next year. Early next year is my plan to go back. And I'm definitely going back for Star Trek. I'll be there. But I want to go to Vegas to enjoy Vegas. So, and I'll drive up to Pahrump. I will want to drive by Art Bell's house. Let's get to a couple super chats here and get back to the chat though. Great questions in the chat though, people. You guys are on fire for being up this late. And I'm sure there's some friends from Europe and Australia. So greetings, everybody. Greetings, Doctor Who fans. I'm sorry I haven't done a Doctor Who video in a while, but there's been zero news. I have been sitting on a rumor for about a month now that I got from one of my insiders that I can't run with because it's got to get verified by somebody else because it's the worst fracking rumor ever. It's the worst news ever. Now, it's not as bad as Jodie Whittaker getting a third season, which is a possibility. I hate to say it. One of my predictions from one of my live streams after I made a lot of predictions, so somebody had to tell me what it was because I didn't know at first. So as Doctor was going on, I was making a ton of predictions, And apparently one of them might be right. And it's terrible. It's terrible. I love Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. I don't like the new Doctor Who. Thanks for recognizing that Mark Hamill wasn't targeting the kid. I hate that people keep phrasing it like that. He still shouldn't have tweeted it, though. No, he wasn't targeting the kid. We can go to the tweet. He was not targeting the kid. He shouldn't have made the tweet at all. And he should have recognized that there's a kid in that picture and people are going to say you targeted the kid. And you mentioned Star Wars. And, you know, I mean, listen, I don't think he targeted the kid, but I can't say that 100%. I don't know. I'm not in Mark's head. But the tweet shouldn't have been made. If we're arguing over who he was targeting, that's not an argument. I mean, like, don't waste your time with that argument, please. Because we knew he was targeting the orange man. And we know how he probably really feels about these kids. He probably feels like these kids are going to grow up to be orange men. So he probably doesn't like them. I mean, listen, he'll say it out loud. It's just a kid and kids are innocent. Doesn't matter who they're born into. And that's how I feel. But Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing. It's a sickness that, I mean, people should actually seek help for. Yeah, it was just a dumb tweet. Going for 50 Norwegian crowns. Mark's tweet did a better job at explaining why Jake Skywalker tried to kill Ben Solo than the sins of his grandfather than The Last Jedi dumpster fire did. That's right. Rhino4563. Gary, what do you think of Campia changing his tune on The Last Jedi? He does everything but admit he's a shill. I saw that, Rhino563. Let's go find out. Let's get that YouTuber who put that clip together that I watched some proper credit, because I don't want to not give people credit. I want to say out loud for you all to hear. If I run a meme, a tweet, a video, and I forget to give somebody credit, please DM me, try to get a hold of me, and I will make up for that. I don't ever do that on purpose. It's a mistake. Or, I try to give as many people credit as possible. I can't catch everything, but I can certainly make up for it in another video. Just reach out to me. Because, the last thing I want to do is take credit for other people's work. I mean, it happens. Certainly happened to me. When the Access Media broke, I don't care. If the Access Media takes it in the shorts, I'm happy. I don't need the credit. Oh, I don't want to get the hiccups during a live stream. It'd be terrible. Come on, let's go. This was under my subscriptions, and it was... God dang it. What was the YouTuber? It was earlier today. Screw it. I'll play it. When I find it, I'll play it. Oh, Film Gob. It was Film Gob. That's right. Film Gob. Film Gob. I knew I'd remember it. Here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna show this video. And I want you to please subscribe to Film Gob. I will put the link in the description for the video, and you can give a sub to Film Gob's channel if you could. I would appreciate it. Oh my God, I got the hiccups now. That's terrible.
And I liked The Last Jedi, but it's my...
All right, let's share this. It's gonna self-produced show there, so give me a sec. God dang it. That sucks. There we go. Okay, we are there. And the desktop audio, we're going to run it through the headphones so you guys can hear it. Give me just a second. I got to set up Is that the right one? Yeah. Hopefully you guys can hear this. If not, we will find out. Oh my God, that's huge. Let's get that. Hang on, I gotta get this window smaller. Un momento. Por favor. Let's get this window much smaller. There we go. That's doable. Oh my God, these hiccups suck. Hiccups during a live stream suck. All right, there we go. And hopefully you can hear this. If not, I'll try again. Get that volume up on desktop audio.
I love Rian Johnson as a filmmaker, and I liked The Last Jedi, but it's my least favorite of all the new Star Wars films, if I'm going to be honest. There are things in there. I mean, it's the original trilogy way up here, and then down here somewhere is, you know, you got The Force Awakens, you got Rogue One, you got Solo, and then you got The Last Jedi, and then way down by the bottom of my feet is the
You can't hear it? Okay, hang on.
No, I ain't got you yet.
We'll stop.
Should I get him?
We will stop it and start it over.
Filmmaker. I love Rian Johnson.
I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Boom, 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 boom. Desktop audio, and we're gonna do. All right, now you're gonna be able to hear it. I just gotta make sure I don't blast my my kids out here. There we go. Here we go.
I love Rian Johnson as a filmmaker, and I liked The Last Jedi, but it's my least favorite of all the new Star Wars films, if I'm going to be honest. There are things in there. I mean, it's the original trilogy way up here, and then down here somewhere is, you know, you got The Force Awakens, you got Rogue One, you got Solo, and then you got The Last Jedi, and then way down by the bottom of my feet is the prequels.
Oh, no, I ain't got you yet. Should I get him? Should I get him?
And I'm going to start off talking about this movie by going right to it. I loved it. I love this movie, man. I love this movie. Now, it is worthy of the Star Wars name. Look, I'm not just paying lip service. I know I just said this about Carrie, but it has to be said about Mark as well. This is the best performance as Luke Skywalker Mark Hamill's ever given us. Carrie Fisher, in my opinion, has never been better as Leia. She's never been better as Leia. Rose. I love this character. But the moment she shows up in the movie, you're just totally endeared with her. You just love her. Snoke has a prominent role in the film. He's everything you want a Star Wars villain.
I'm going to start that over because I just saw I had the wrong picture up. Hang on. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. I want to start that over. Boomer. Here we go.
I love Rian Johnson as a filmmaker, and I liked The Last Jedi, but it's my least favorite of all the new Star Wars films, if I'm going to be honest. There are things in there. I mean, it's the original trilogy way up here, and then down here somewhere is, you know, you got The Force Awakens, you got Rogue One, you got Solo, and then you got The Last Jedi, and then way down by the bottom of my feet is the prequels.
Oh, no, I ain't got you yet. Should I get him? Should I get him?
And I'm going to start off talking about this movie by going right to it. I loved it. I love this movie, man. I love this movie. Now, it is worthy of the Star Wars name. Look, I'm not just paying lip service. I know I just said this about Carrie, but it has to be said about Mark as well. This is the best performance as Luke Skywalker Mark Hamill's ever given us. Carrie Fisher, in my opinion, has never been better as Leia. She's never been better as Leia. Rose. I love this character. But the moment she shows up in the movie, you're just totally endeared with her. You just love her. Snoke has a prominent role in the film. He's everything you want a Star Wars villain. This is truly a Star Wars film. I'm really happy to say it's truly a Star Wars film. But a whole hell of a lot of you guys are going to absolutely love this film. All right.
You lie! You're a fucking liar! Shut up! Perfect.
I want to go back to that beginning real quick.
I love Rian Johnson as a filmmaker, and I liked The Last Jedi, but it's my least favorite of all the new Star Wars films, if I'm going to be honest. There are things in there. I mean, it's the original trilogy way up here, and then down here somewhere is, you know, you got The Force Awakens, you got Rogue One, you got Solo, and then you got The Last Jedi, and then way down by the bottom of my feet is the prequels.
Oh, no.
Wow. That's a big change. Look at, you see our buddy Robert Meyer Burnett right there? Just going, Now, Robert Meyer Burnett likes it. Solo was garbage. Force Awakens, well, it was garbage. I didn't like it. But along with everybody else, I thought you could have made something from it. But, that's J.J. Abrams 101, and I hope everybody's recognizing this. Now, again, Star Trek fans are way ahead of the curve on the J.J. Abrams isms than Star Wars fans, because we've seen the end result of J.J. Abrams. We see when J.J. Abrams comes in and does a sequel and produces a film. He doesn't know how to end anything because he mystery box. Everything's a mystery box, mystery box, mystery box. The problem is, you need to watch his mystery box video, because he really explains, he understands film. He really does. He understands what scenes to pick out. He talks about, like one of the best scenes in Jaws that he and I 100% agree on. One of my favorite scenes in Jaws is when the kid is mimicking Brody's movements and stuff. The thing is, he doesn't know how to do it though. He doesn't know how to build up a character. He knows how to have that big crazy event that shocks everybody. He knows how to do explosions, but quite honestly, Michael Bay's a better director. Zack Snyder's a better director than J.J. Abrams, by far. I would much rather watch a Michael Bay film any day of the week than a J.J. Abrams film. Michael Bay films have likable characters in them. There's nothing to remember in a J.J. Abrams film. I remember Michael Bay films. And JJ's just a bullshit artist. He's just a real good bullshit artist, and he's not that talented. He is not worth $500 million and running half of Hollywood. That is ridiculous. That is being anointed by Spielberg. Spielberg, one of the greatest disappointments of my life. He has become what he hated. I'm sure if you're my age, you remember Spielberg used to get no love because the old elites in Hollywood wouldn't give him shit. Spielberg should have crap loads of Oscars. Raiders of the Lost Ark should have won Best Picture. E.T. should have won Best Picture. Fuck, all the, Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back should have won Best Picture. But Close Encounters of the Third Kind should have won Best Picture. It's ridiculous. But he became what he hated. And he anointed J.J. Abrams, and now we got this. He's the wrong guy for Star Wars. You might as well have gotten Quentin Tarantino to direct Star Wars. They might as well have let Lynch direct Return of the Jedi. Wrong person for the job. Who would have directed a good Star Wars movie? Matthew Vaughn would have directed a good Star Wars movie. A good hired gun, Brad Bird would have directed a good Star Wars movie. Like Joe Johnston would have directed a good Star Wars movie. James Gunn would direct a good Star Wars movie. He did. It's called Guardians of the Galaxy. Not J.J. Abrams. And Campia, well, Jeremy recently passed him up in subs, by the way. I think that's got to hurt him a little bit. Jeremy's getting more traction with his channel, and that's the most important part. Subs are great, by the way. If you're out there watching and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. It does really help with notifications. And if you like what I do here, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you could like and share the video as much as possible, that really helps, because we really don't get the traction we used to past 24, 48 hours. But, since I've been asking for the help, you guys have been helping immensely. So thank you, because I like this job. I want to keep it as long as possible. Is it going to last forever? Probably not. but I want to keep it as long as possible because I'm having the time of my life. It'll be much nicer to talk about good television and good films, and maybe that won't bring as big crowds, but you know, that's a sacrifice we all have to make for good entertainment. Just woke up. Keep up the good work. Earl Grey Hawk for £2. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Orville Nation for $5. I really don't understand what Campia has against George Lucas. Too bad. This time in Star Wars history will be remembered as The Farce Awakens. Oh, very, very good. Very good, Orville Nation. And hail Orville Nation. Did you? I'm sure you saw this, Orville Nation. Screen Use Skull from Identity. That's quality. I don't know where they made this, but it's awesome. Yeah. And Rhino 4563, Gary, what do you think of Campia? Oh, okay. That's what led me to this video. All right. Let's read a little more to the chat here. The chat's flying. What's up, guys? How's it going? I heard somebody say boring. Yeah, I can be boring sometimes. Yeah, awesome. It says Orville Nation. Nice. Thank you. Now you have to rewatch that episode and try to find your skull. Oh, challenge accepted. I am going to rewatch Lord of the Rings on the plane. Lord of the Rings is my happy place. So while I'm on a plane, I want to try to be. Listen, you know what's funny is what number do we want to hit? Screw it. When I get back before, you know what? On December 27th is my sober anniversary. I'll give you guys my AA story that day. So it'll be a one-time. It's not going to go on the website or anything. If you want to join and hear my AA story, which you might not, you'll understand that I've been through like a lot of shit. I've been in some crazy situations, life-threatening situations. But I am the biggest pussy on a plane. I can handle a lot of shit, but I am a pussy on a plane. I admit it. So I like to go in I have to go to my happy space. So I have gummy bears and I listen and shit, if I could take up smoking cigarettes, I would, but I can't on a plane. So I eat gummy bears and I watch Lord of the Rings. That's my happy place. Greatest trilogy of all time. Yeah, it's a lot of walking. It's good fucking walking. It's good walking. It's better than aimlessly running around in a slow chase in space with space bombers that drop space bombs in the vacuum of space with Mary Poppins flying around. By the way, Carrie Fisher gave the performance of her life. Well, it's too soon, but literally. Carrie Fisher, I love Carrie Fisher. She was one of the, as far as addiction, she is one of the best people out there who's ever written anything about it being, I don't think she ever, well, obviously she didn't really conquer it. You never really conquer it. She had a hard time with it. And she was one of the best script doctors in Hollywood. Her performance was crap in The Last Jedi. Let's be real. She had a lot of damage. She's damaged her body. I mean, like she used for years. And she did okay. But I mean, come on. She got very little screen time and they put her in a coma in the second film. They tried to use her as little as possible. Let's be real. And Rose, I don't know. Did she have a coke fingernail? I did for a long time. Lord of the Rings, Frederick, is the best trilogy. Best beginning, middle, and end. Best acting, best directing, best special effects, best motion capture, best soundtrack. I love all 17 endings. Somewhere on the credits, I joined the fan club. I'm in those credits on the Blu-rays. God, it needs to be on 4K. I watch Lord of the Rings at least 2 to 3 times a year. My favorite movies ever. Duck Nation, we are the same right there. I do as well. I watch it, I listen to the BBC radio drama, I listen to the book, and I crack open the book once in a while, like every so often. I love the story. Tolkien was a goddamn genius. All hail Tolkien. And you know what? Thank God the Tolkien estate somewhat protects. Oh my God. It took me a while, though, to realize that they completely cucked Legolas in The Hobbit. So it makes it hard to rewatch that now. Because I used to be okay with The Hobbit, but TLJ turned me into an alcoholic. Hammer, no. Well, I got a seat for you, buddy, when you want to come back. Mr. Jones says LOTR's best trilogy, period, end of story. It's not even worth debate. It sucks. The BBC radio drama, I missed that one. Sporking News podcast. You can get it on Audible. By the way, Audible, I will whore for you. I love Audible. So if Audible ever wants to sponsor this channel, bring it. I use all my credits on Audible. Audible's freaking brilliant. So it's on Audible. You can get it for 1 credit. Ian Holm plays Frodo. It was recorded in 1980. Bill Nye plays Samwise Gamgee. And it's great. Running with Scissors, I haven't seen you in a while. What's up? Gary, come to New Zealand and I will take you through Weta and show you the rings props myself, says Runs with Scissors. Dude, all right. I'll take you up on that. I want to go next year. I need to go. I, again, hate flying, and that's like a 17-hour flight, but I'll do it to see Hobbiton, to go to Bag End. I need to see Bag End. Lord of the Rings trilogy is really what we thought the Star Wars original trilogy before they messed it up, wasn't it? Yeah. We're coming up on a 20-year anniversary, and I don't think Peter Jackson will be fucking with it. Yo, Nerdrotic. Oh, wait, I got to read that over here. If I read it on the wrong side, it'll tail on me. Yo, Nerdrotic, thank you for the content you put out. Found you when Game of Thrones Season 8 started. Definitely want to say muchas gracias for suggesting The Expanse. Disney Star Wars killed Star Wars. It did. Pedro, de nada, amigo. Welcome. Thank you for the $10. I'm glad I turned you on to The Expanse. I hope it stays woke free because it doesn't need to be woke. It's a pretty damn good political show. And we need something good. We need something good. Man, there's still 1,100 people watching right now. What did I skip? I skipped some super chats. Hey, thank you, Pinion. I'll go up and check. It probably jumped on me. Okay, so Pinion for Canadian $5. I bet Mark did that to spite the new films because they destroyed Luke. This will affect box office numbers. Seriously, millions reading Twitter, much anger. And Pinion, thank you for pointing that out. Good looking out, my friend. I appreciate you. This is the fundamental problem with that Disney needs to recognize like yesterday. And it never gets mentioned enough. You know, it gets mentioned all the time here in the Fandom Menace, but you notice they never talk about alienating half their goddamn audience with these fucking political tweets. And it's simple. Just stop. Mark, you're not going to make a difference in this world, dude. Your tweets aren't going to change anybody's mind. As a matter of fact, I think you created more Orange Man voters than you deterred with that stupid fucking tweet. All right? And honestly, people need to collect themselves and look outside and realize things aren't so bad. Maybe write a gratitude list. The Orange Man is not the worst president I've ever seen in my lifetime. Not even close, to be honest with you. Not even fucking close. And things are, for me personally, things are great. So honestly, that's all I care about. I want my country to do well. Whether I voted for this person or not, I want my country to do well. If you don't like the person's personality, well, you're not supposed to like the president's personality. the kind of person that wants to be a president is somebody who is completely okay with being directly responsible for the death of somebody. That's not the kind of person I want to hang out with, but that's the kind of person we need to lead. Okay. So get over yourselves, think about the country, and also think about this one. And I'm not talking to you in the chat. You guys already know this because you're smart, but maybe for the rando who's going to listen to this later. If you're doing it, if you're going this hard on this guy, what do you think the other side's going to do when your guy or gal comes in? It's just going to get worse. And it's just going to get worse as time goes on. You know, there was a time in my lifetime where people would get in the president, they wouldn't like it, but they deal. And it was always, you know, and it's because we can talk to each other and it's media, and I understand that. I totally understand that. But entertainment is supposed to be free of this shit. Especially Star Wars. You can make a political movie. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about franchises that were for general audiences. And the reason Star Wars is taking a hit is because the people on the right don't want to be browbeaten anymore and told they're assholes and istophobes. They're tired of it. They're walking away. They're finding other things to do. And believe me, there's a lot of other shit to do. Star Wars ain't the only game in town. Not by far. And Empty Galaxy's Edge, only the beginning. And we said when Last Jedi came out, everyone said this is going to take a couple years. Well, we're right at a couple years, and we're starting to see the effects. We're starting to see the consequences now. No, I'm not going to say I told you so. It wasn't directed at Ivanka, but at Disney. Interesting theory there. I think it was directed at Ivanka, but I could be wrong. If he's playing some 4D chess, that's what you're saying? George's lost, Gary. I'd shake your hand before I'd shake George's, says Justin Doyle for £5. Thank you very much, my friend. I'd shake his hand. I still would shake his hand. I freaking loved his books. Come on, I still love his books. I'm just want him to finish writing it. You know, the show, it's a little bit his fault, but a lot Dan and Dave's too. Laughing Gas for $5. Would you rather have Wins a Winner have girl power or never have come out? Either way, it will be entertaining to enjoy the book or you talking about it. Well, thank you. Game of Thrones has girl power. I mean, A Song of Ice and Fire has good, genuine girl power. Like well-earned girl. The women in that story are well-rounded. They're not Mary Sue's. They go through freaking hell. And I like all the female characters. I like them all. There's no annoying character in the books. I like everything about the books. I do. I just wish it was out. And I hope he doesn't turn them woke. And I know the direction they're going. And he already was subverting tropes in that book, but he was doing it right. It's very natural. And it shows his talent. Hey, Gary, hope to make it in time to meet up in Brooklyn. Regards, PJ. All right. So I'm just making sure by the way, Pinion, thank you again for pointing out that I missed a couple super chats. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going through the list here real quick, folks. All right. And are zombies walking around us in real life? Avenger 2 in San Francisco on 6th Street? Yes, absolutely. The zombies are out every night on 6th Street in San Francisco. And I feel bad for them. I truly do. Lori Wilson says, all U.S. government is corrupt. Large portions of it are, for damn sure. George R. Martin is still my guy, but you're right, Nerdrotic. Let's get our wins a winner. Wins a winner. Damn straight, Sporking News Podcast. Maybe, I don't know. I doubt he's ever, listen, I don't know if some in his entourage knew who I was. Okay. And there's a reason I know because I got an email and whatever. I don't know if he's ever watched one of my videos, but I hope he understands, I know a lot about his books, and as Mrs. Nerdrotic says, I'm like his biggest fan. I read the shit out of those books over and over and over and over and over and over again. And if he gives us a good wins a winner, I will forget all this shit. Believe me, I'll forget a Game of Thrones, the show, everything. I'll be happy as hell. How is orange not a color? It is. Am I alone in thinking Mark's viciousness, that was maybe the most disturbing thing? That's a good point. Jeffrey Riley says, am I alone in thinking that Mark's viciousness, that was the most disturbing thing? That was rage at a very innocuous picture of Ivanka's family. That's a great point. And that's where I asked the question, why? Why would you even make that tweet? Why are you that angry? Honestly, like, going around life that angry over the reason I don't watch the news and don't get into politics anymore is I am 100% powerless over that shit. I'm not going to get upset over something I can't do anything about. I'm going to concentrate on stuff I can directly affect or I'm directly interested in. But I am powerless unless it's a local election. And it just does not concern me. It sucks. But it's a giant distractor. This shit's going on anyway. It always has going on. It always will go on. So I don't know why, before I go to work, I'd watch the news every day and I'd go to work with my, all clenched up. And I don't want to be like that anymore. It's bad enough fighting this fight. Usually I'm a peaceful, mellow dude, except before I'm going to get on a plane. Then that's not the case. If you try to make the Phantom Menace only right wing, you will lose many who belong to non-political reasons. Why would I do that? Ben Bamboo? I don't have that power, and I do not have that desire at all. The Phantom Menace is for everybody. Exactly. I try to tell people they can't control. We can't control things that go on. If you're upset about it, cool. But don't be that upset. There's nothing you can do about it. Zero. You're just getting upset and it's tearing your life apart. And you're giving that person power over you. So just don't. DW, thank you very much. You go get some sleep. I'm going to wrap this puppy up. Running with scissors, I'm going to take you up on that, New Zealand. And yeah, that's the one thing we'll wrap this up with, is the Phantom Menace has both sides here, and we have come together. And this is like what fandom is. We've come together in trying to get this stuff out of our entertainment. It has gone way too far. And it took me longer to get in because honestly, something here and there doesn't bug me that much, but it's not here and there anymore. It's like the hooks in a stupid pop song now. And I know I've made this analogy before, but it seems like in every TV show, it's every 15 minutes right before the commercial break. In every film, it's every 10 minutes. It's like, you got to have your political hook to get in. And it's fake. It's superficial. And honestly, it's the worst form of istophobia out there. It's tokenizing. It's using people as shields for criticism. It's terrible. It's terrible. And it's really effing up our fun. And you know what? We need our fun because a lot of us still watch the news. And I don't judge you for watching news. You want to know what's going on? I understand that. And you know what? We get some relief from Star Trek and Star Wars. And we're not getting that relief anymore. We're going to go somewhere else. We'll find something else. And I know I've said this before as well, but you got to say a lot of stuff over and over again. It's part of the YouTube thing. All the Phantom Menace is people begging to give you money. We still want to give you money. We want to support your thing. We just want the thing that we love to somewhat look like it. It doesn't need to be perfect, but destroying the spirit of it in lieu of agenda, that's a crime against art. It's a crime against your fans. It's disrespecting your fans over and over again. And oh, by the way, stop disrespecting your fans on Twitter. And that includes you, Mark Hamill. All right. So thank you for joining me tonight. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And I will talk to you guys again from New York City. Mr. Twisted 72 for $1.99. Good night, Nerdrotic. Glad I was able to tune in. I'm glad you were too, man. Live long and prosper. Mustafa Cohen for £5. And some things that were not meant to be forgotten were lost. If you go woke, you go broke. Exactly. That's a great line there. And some things that were not meant to be forgotten were lost. And not all who wander are lost either. You see a 4-part series on Coach's Vintage 80s Toy Haul. It's pretty epic find he made. So much stuff, we had to break it up into 4 videos. That's awesome, Echo Base Network. I'll check it out. I saw the video go up, but I haven't watched it yet, but I will. Thanks, Nicholas Glenn, for $4.99. You're brilliant. What if George R. R. Martin is just getting up there in age? Is it possible he just doesn't have it in him to finish? I'm thinking that's it, quite frankly. When USA was great, we had Carson. Now we have Colbert. Yeah, Carson was awesome. Watched him every night. Thank you, Austin Kaiser, for $2. Orville Nation, Echo Base Network, Mustafa, Mr. Twisted, everybody in the chat. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the interaction. Thank you for keeping me company tonight. Please go to nerdrotic.com for my live stream schedule. Keep an eye out for the times for the meetup. There'll be multiple live streams from New York, and I'll even try to do a video or two. In the meantime, there's a lot of stuff to enjoy. Unfortunately, not a lot of it's new. Go watch The Lord of the Rings. Have fun. Go watch Frodo and Sam. Take a long walk. That's better than anything that Hollywood is making right now. All right, so I guess we'll end it with a song.
Nerdrotic.com.
Everybody, have a good night, and may the free folk sing songs of your greatness. Good night, everybody.